Tall triple caramel macchiato, the fat man finally ordered, taking his sweet time. Sure thing, I answered before sliding the window closed. I felt his eyes burn through the window, watching my every move as I worked on his drink. Why couldn't I have found a job at Starbucks, where they had comfy polo tees? Instead, I was stuck at Joe's Hot Shots. Tight tank tops and black bottoms happened to be the uniform. The color of the tank changed with the season, not the weather. I was wearing green for spring. While mixing his drink, I glanced at the clock. My shift was over 5 minutes ago. Sarah was late. She was why I worked at Joe's. She was the one who told me how great it was, and she who hooked me up with the job. But she was also the reason I couldn't quit. That'll be $3.50, I said, opening the window. The man held out a 10 next to his truck, forcing me to reach through the window. I bent through the window, handing him his drink, then taking his money. Keep the change, babe, he said with a wink, his pinched face and upturned nose reminding me of Porky Pig. Thanks, I answered, sliding the window closed. No other vehicles were waiting to be served, so I texted Sarah, "Where are you?" Right here, she answered, opening the door to the small drive-through coffee stand. Sorry I'm late, Dimples. Sarah was the only one who could get away with calling me that. Whatever, I said, rolling my eyes. She knew I had plans. Early morning rush is over, I said from the bathroom, peeling off my leggings and sliding on a pair of old Levi's. I felt like a contortionist, changing in such a small space. I put on my old sneakers and black sweatshirt before pulling my long hair into a ponytail. Sorry, Dimples, Sarah said again. Really? She stuck out her bottom lip, batting thick lashes over blue eyes. Her blonde hair and copper tan contrasted to my dark hair, green eyes, and pale skin. I didn't look at her as I left the stand, closing the door harder than I should. Call me later, she called from inside. If I hadn't been in such a hurry, I might have been a little more understanding. On my way to my car, I realized again that working with my best friend wasn't nearly as great as I thought it would be. The voice of Lady Gaga singing Born This Way blared from my radio. I turned the music up and sang along, ignoring the vibration and static from the speakers. My '89 Ford Escort was old and plain, but dependable. According to the morning forecast, the day was supposed to be clear and sunny with highs in the upper 60s. So far, the morning sun had been alone in the blue sky, a good sign the meteorologist may have got it right. Summer was on its way. I could feel it as I headed to Chewelah Peak, a mountain with a popular resort called 49 Degrees North set on top. I tried skiing there once, which was a disaster. Unable to turn and too scared to stop, I ran off course and into the woods. It took all my energy and the help of the ski patrol to get me out of the waist-deep powdered snow. I flushed, remembering the way I had to squirm and crawl to finally escape. I was so embarrassed. Today I plan to hike a specific trail higher up the mountain called Viewpoint. Last month, a customer told me about the trail. I found it online that same day. Reviews gave it 5 stars. The trail was easygoing and supposed to have great panoramic views of the surrounding mountains and valleys. After a couple hours of driving north from Spokane, I made it to the mountain. Once I turned off of US 395, I followed the signs that directed traffic up Flowery Trail Road to the resort. As I began ascending the curvy 2-lane paved road, I noticed the peaks of the taller mountains still had snow on them and hoped I remembered to pack a jacket. The forest was lush with sprouting flora along both sides of the road. I cracked my window, inhaling the crisp air. I'd pass a pull-out or driveway entry now and then, but mostly I drove between 2 tall walls of thick trees and brush, almost like a tunnel. On either side of the road, a small stream trickled down the mountain. Broken trees and branches littered the ditches and deep ruts scarred the earth, evidence the stream had once been much larger and vigorous. After a few switchbacks, the road narrowed and soon the yellow center line disappeared altogether.